Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Sunday Supplement. We have an absolute packed show, an amazing panel, so don't go away. See you very, very soon. Good morning, everyone, and we are back again with the Fantasy Football Sunday Supplement debate. Welcome, everyone. And again, we've got a smashing group of our panel with us today to give you viewers the chance to go through the whole hot topics of this week. So we've got a packed show. So let's just get to the point and get our panel ready. So first of all, our resident panel is Wasim Fazl. So welcome, Waz.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing, Waz? You okay?
I'm very well after last night's performance.
After last night's performance. Listen, I was watching it until 76 minutes and it was like 1-1. I go off for a little while. Van der Beek comes on. Someone goes off. Pogba, is that his name? Paul Pogba? Yeah. And then God, I've just switched it back on and all of a sudden the score has changed. But anyway, well done. Okay, second in our panel, 2019-2020 Fantasy Football winner, presenter of the One Presenters Football Fantasy Show. It's Faraz Fazl from Birmingham. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Face. Looking forward to a good chat. I think this group has sort of helped me up my fantasy game. So thank you to everyone. And I'm looking forward to a good chat, like I said.
Great stuff. And you're a Man United fan, right? For us?
Yes, sir. Yes,
you are
a Man United fan.
Okay. We've got two Man United guys here. Okay, so let's feel a little bit home and get some Spursy guys in. Mr. Sajjad Asharia, welcome. 2017 winner, I believe, fantasy football champion, and also always in that top 3-4 of the fantasy football winning team. He's our Spurs master tactician and critic. So welcome, Sajjad Asharia. How are you doing?
Thank you. All good today.
All right.
All good.
All
Excited
good?
for the game to come. Yep. Excited to go second in the table. I think we'll go second in the table.
There you go. Right, and also now we've got another Spursy. Okay, Ada, my partner in crime for our away days, vice chairman of SJRS Racket Sports. We call him Mr. Simon Jordan of Spurs. It is Abbas Merali. Ada, how are you? You okay?
Absolutely brilliant. Yes, thanks, Face, for having me on the show. Really looking forward to having a good discussion with you guys.
Great stuff.
And obviously the match later on today.
Listen, just a quick one. We were recapping the other day, going through all our away days, and we came up with a stat of your away days that you've gone through the UK. It's over 30. Is that right?
I think it's 33 and counting. 33 UK away grounds and 6 European away grounds, so 39 altogether.
Can you name an obscure stadium that we've gone to?
Well, the one that always gets a laugh is Notts County when we lost 3-0 away. So that's a funny place. I've been Barnet, Peterborough away. Where else? Stoke, obviously. Sorry?
Yeah.
Portsmouth, brilliant game when Gaza scored the winner, 2-1 against Portsmouth in the quarterfinal of the Cup, 91.
There you go. Great. Okay, so I don't listen. Your first time, so welcome. And last but not least, one of our favorites, everyone's favorite. He's on the show with popular demand. Everybody wants him. It's Mr. Mo Balji, everyone.
Thank you very, very
welcome. Well, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you so much, and looking forward to this and a wonderful effort in organizing it. Thank you. Thank you. No, let's have a good chat, inshallah.
You're the instigators of the Sunday supplement. You've always said that we need to get something going, and well done. Anyway, you're here. Welcome anyway. So, guys, listen, we've got a packed show for everyone, and we're going to go straight in. And now we've been away 2 weeks. So, just to recap, transfer deadlines. So, we did put it out to say the shakers and the movers of the transfer market, who's benefited, who's actually lost out. Wise, I'm going to go straight in with you, right? This is a big topic for Manchester United and for Spurs. So I'm going to just hear out from you. We did touch on this last time. That was the deadline. It's now gone. What's happened at Manchester United? I know we had those last, minute 4 the buys that you did. But can you just recap what was actually going on in the last 48 hours of the transfer market with United?
Scattergun approach. Standard scattergun approach, unfortunately. I think we all said that Alex Telles would join. He's a quality signing. I'm not worried about that. I think I've said it on the show a couple of weeks ago. I would have preferred Reguilon, but unfortunately that buyback clause was an issue, and I can understand why it's an issue. So I'm not too disappointed with Alex Telles. The manager identified the right wing as being a problem. We did not back him to do that. Rightly or wrongly, we all believe a centre-back was probably more of an issue, a pressing issue, but we were never going to get a centre-back. So that's why I don't hold that against the manager necessarily. He felt he had enough cover in that area, rightly or wrongly, but he wanted a right winger. We didn't back him. But saying that, I don't think Cavani is. I think Cavani is actually quite a sensible move. Actually, it gives a bit of competition to Martial, and I'm quite excited to see this young kid Facundo Pellistri. Sounds very good. This Armada Traore as well from Atlanta. I can't honestly tell you I've seen him play and he's going to be the bee's knees because I don't know, but by all reports, very, very respected journalists across Europe have spoken very highly of him. So let's see. We'll only be judged, honestly, on this transfer window by Christmas. We'll have a true look at it and see where we are. But I think not backing the manager, if he wanted a right-sided player and we didn't back him, that's a problem. And sadly, we're left with Dan James.
Dan James.
There you go.
Yeah, for us, you're a United fan. What are your opinions on the United and the last minute buys that you guys went through? I mean, look, you had all this time. You had like 5-6 weeks to get who you wanted, and you've come out with this bunch of.
I mean, I echo what Waz is saying 100%, and fully agree. I feel like transfer deadline day and the way that teams approach it is generally an indication of how well set up your club is. So the more that you're scrambling on deadline day to get players in and sign players is more of a reflection on how you've done business over the last few months. So teams like Everton get their business done early, and you can see a cohesive plan in place. Whereas with United, it was a little bit more, and no better word than scattergun, where you feel like someone like Cavani, exciting player, but you can't pitch it to the fans as he's going to set the world alight. He is, to put it metaphorically, the icing on the cake. You can't pitch him as the cake itself. That's how I would sort of look at it. Nonetheless, excited to see how this all fits together. But getting your business done early is always the better way to go about it. So,
okay,
that's generally how I feel.
Now you said getting your business done early, I'm going to jump in with the Spurs boys now. Ada, we talk about early, like these guys are saying. Now we know Jose Mourinho loves to shop in the window very, very early doors. We were slightly panicking, right, to say what is going to come to the door.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we couldn't have asked for a better transfer window, and this brings back memories of several years ago where we used to be quite active. But compared to the last 2 years where we haven't been active, I think this was brilliant. I mean, if you remember on our podcast, we at the end of last season, we kind of were talking about which positions we need filling, and every single one of those positions, we managed to get a quality signing. I mean, look, there's no world beaters there. Obviously, Bale is a world-class player, and to be seen, whether he can come back to the heights that he left us with in his first few seasons in Madrid. But I think he'll have to battle for a place in the team himself. So, and that shows the strength of the squad. I think we've got a fantastic squad. 7 signings. Some of them have already embedded in and showing some skill. And the left back Reguilón, as I said, United wanted them, but I think that's going to be a quality signing. The Danish midfielder, he's already sort of proving to be good. So I think we reinforced every single position we needed to. Excited for the season really, and I think we've done credit to Levy and obviously Mourinho as well. That they've done business the right way and sealed off yesterday with a central defender, which I think was the missing piece in the jigsaw. So I think that will keep add some competition to the existing defenders in the team.
Good stuff. So, Saj, Magnificent Seven. You did put it out yesterday in our Spurs group about the questions we wanted to talk about, and you did say the amount of players that we've actually got in now, and we've got positional players now in all departments of the team. And are you happy with what we've done now? Is it done deal in the sense that we've done the shopping, we've done it early? Are we happy with all the players that Spurs have got now?
Yeah, I'd say we've had a very successful transfer window. It's others right. We've had a very successful transfer window. We've now got 2 players for every position. It's strength in depth. We may not have the best first team in the league, but we've certainly got one of the best squads now, and that was missing last season. We've I think you've got one of the best front threes definitely in Premier League and maybe in Europe if Bale comes good. That front three is scary, but you're not as worried this season if one of them, for example, is missing for a couple of matches, whereas last season it was nearly season over. So I think that's good. I think if you wanted 100% satisfaction, if you wanted 100%, and if you were going completely at it, I think the centre back that we've identified, I think he's more of a long term. He's a kid, and he's going to be more of a long term player. I think he'll come in, but he's not going to hit the first team. I still think that's sort of like a place where we may see an issue down the line. So I would have liked a Milan Skriniar or someone like that to come in straight into the first team, and that would have been. But as I said, that would have been literally icing on the cake, the actual perfect window. But to be honest, you can't, in this market, to go out and get 7 players and 7 quality players. It's not like Google players that we haven't heard of. And the other thing is, there's a couple of players from the transfer window before, players like Ndombele, who just didn't have a season, who had no impact last season. Giovanni Lo Celso had sort of like half a season with us, really, in terms of injuries and stuff. They're just as important as new signings. They come into a team and they're fresh, and it's sort of like, for me, it's like eight new signings, really.
8 new signings,
But the thing is, it's competition, really. You can already see, for example, players like Aurier, Davies, other players. Now they know there's competition for their places. It's people stepping up, and that's what's good for any football club, right?
Good stuff. Yeah, no, you're right. I totally agree. Mo, Liverpool were very, very quiet in the transfer market. I know you have dabbled in there. You did get a major one across the line. He's already made an impact. But overall, do you think Liverpool should have strengthened at the back in central defence? And also, do you think they needed another striker just in case if you would have sold Origi? I mean, how do you find Liverpool signings or the lack of signings?
Well, I thought the squad was very, very good already, and I wasn't and a very, very good squad. But then that squad needs competition as well. So hence you needed somebody for the front three, and you needed a centre back, which I'm disappointed we didn't get, to be honest, and a backup goalkeeper after seeing what's happened recently.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen the
bit of a worry. And then, but the surprising signing for me was Diogo Jota. I think he's going to be a great player at Liverpool. He's really underrated. And, he's surprising me as how well he started there as well. I'm more happy with him than Thiago coming in because he is going to give that front three a real competition.
Right. So, were you saying you're pretty happy with what you've got? Or you
yeah, it's quite good, but we could have got a centre-back. And I think for the striking thing, I think we've got Jota, we've got Minamino, we've got Origi. It's fine. Origi will score the magic goals. I call him the lucky Kenyan. He comes in.
Don't remind us about Origi and lucky goals. Yeah,
that's fine. That's what you need sometimes.
but Mo, the thing about Liverpool and their squad, you said that you were happy with their squad, but you've done amazingly well in the last 2 seasons. But you've been very lucky with injuries. Salah, Mane, Firmino, none of them.
Been very lucky with the front three, but we had a goalkeeper injured. We had
Henderson
injured.
You've had no major injuries, and that was always going to hit you at some point in time. So I don't think your squad has really been tested, truly. And I think this season you're already finding out that your squad's going to be tested.
Last night we saw Virgil van Dijk. He might be out for 4 to 6 months, right?
That could be a defining moment. But I've seen also another thing is one of our squad in the midfield, Jordan Henderson. When he hasn't played, he's not the most skillful. But when he hasn't played, Liverpool have lost 80% of the games when he's not there.
I was just going to say, is Henderson's probably your one of your most key players. He's probably like the unsung hero. How I guess Fletcher was for United back in the day. No one really paid much notice to him, but he was a cog that kept everything going. And when Henderson's not there, your back four is very badly exposed. And then when you've got Adrian in goal, it really shows. So those who mocked Henderson should really be eating humble pie now because he's absolutely crucial to Liverpool.
Definitely. Then there's one particular one in our Liverpool group who mocks him, and I'm really annoyed with him. Really annoyed.
Just to add to that as well, I feel like with the way the season is going and with the pandemic, I think strength of squad will be even more important than it's been in the past because you can see that on the eve of competitions, players that are 100% fit all of a sudden aren't in contention because of exposure to someone else or because of waiting for test results. So I think
very good point.
The depth of the squads will be important, and that's why I feel like Spurs have done good business. But also I think Daniel Levy's put a clock on now because he's given Jose everything he wanted, and so I think the pressure is on.
Spurs, but they've done very good business. His checkbook out, but brilliant.
But that said, I think the best signing of the season is probably Thiago. I think he'll come good. He's probably the most quality addition to the Premiership.
He was so brilliant on the ball. He makes it look easy, He's so easy with his passing.
He is top class. But you guys are so reliant on your fullbacks, Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, who played brilliantly. You got no backup there, right? So again, if that's one of the injuries, your undercover right back and left back is pretty weak as well for a top Premiership.
So that's the reason why Thiago's been brought in, because he can do something different as well. He can change the game in midfield, which we didn't have in our three of the midfield. They were all workmanlike more. That was the problem.
Okay, and so let's just go back to that's 3 or 4 clubs that we've just mentioned. But how about the ones who've actually missed the boat? The ones who haven't actually gone out and bought the players. Do you fear any club or any manager right now that's going to be under the cosh? I don't know.
I think Pep is under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you said it the other day, right?
I think Pep's under a lot of pressure. Okay, yesterday they defended well against what I thought was a very pretty Arsenal, but lacked a lot of
poor Arsenal. Hardly any efforts.
But that's the thing. So to me, Pep keeps spending money on defenders, and I think this season, I think Khaldoon Mubarak and the Abu Dhabi lot are going to have expect a lot back basically from Pep, and I think if he does not deliver, he could be in trouble actually. So I think
he'll last the season, right? They'll give him the season. They're not going to sack him sort of like mid season, whereas Ole could easily find himself out of a job in 6 weeks, and so could Fat Frank.
Listen, Man United we know is a basket case right now. I'm not even going to worry about United right now because we know the board, everything. We can put that to one side for sure. But from the ones who are supposedly secure, I think you'll find that Pep's probably under a lot of pressure. Actually, probably more than we realize.
Okay, so for us, anyone? Can you think of anyone for us that could be under pressure?
Slightly left field. I feel like I'll take a break from the top six, but I think a team like Sheffield, who considerably overperformed last year.
Good
What's happened to them this season? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they had a very impressive system and it worked really well. I think firstly, we're going to get to it, but the no fans is really affecting them because Bramall Lane was a place that you didn't want to go. But more than that, I feel like they're happy to settle where they are or plus or minus 3 of where they finished. But I think it's going to be a bit tougher for them because if you look in comparison, teams like Villa have addressed the issues that they had. And so there's a lot of teams that have passed them by. So I wouldn't be surprised if they struggle this season.
Adam, how about yourself?
Yeah, I think, look, I mean, in amongst the top teams, we already talked about Liverpool and City, but I think it's encouraging for the rest of the Premiership clubs that they were so dominant and probably arguably still very dominant. But the fact that they haven't added and strengthened the squad relatively to some of the other competition just behind them, I think will make it for a more even season. So I think that's encouraging. Going further down, I think the other club is probably Wolves as well. Again, similar to your point for us about Sheffield.
Great shout.
They really performed well last year.
Great shout.
Performed well last season.
Yeah,
they've sold Doherty to us. They've sold Juta to Liverpool. They've sold Costa has gone. So I think their squad has depleted, which is surprising.
Yeah, no,
on the other hand, I think Everton and Newcastle have done good business. So I think they probably, are the two that outside the top 6 have probably done, useful additions.
Good shout. Okay, Saj, what do you think? Lost out.
I was actually going to say Wolves because Wolves are very surprising because they for me were really they could have. They were spending a lot of money. They had good quality players. And it was very surprising. Even when we bought Doherty, I was very surprised that they let him go. So I was actually surprised at that. Apart from that, I think Fulham are sort of like the team who are just destined to go down. They just seem... I think they
haven't got a clue. Like they're lost here.
They spent 100 million last time and they think they don't want to spend any money, but it doesn't work like that. You can't just say, okay, we spent 100 million last time and we got relegated. We're not going to spend any money.
I tweeted the owners to tell them if they want to buy Phil Jones and Marcus Rojo as well. Tony Khan, he was on Twitter. He didn't take me up on it.
Okay, Mo?
You probably tweeted out fired, I think.
Sorry, Vince, I missed the question.
Mo, who do you think has lost out in the transfer market?
I agree with Faraz and about Wolves and Basili about Wolves and Sheffield United, to be honest with you. But the team I had initially thought who had done good business in the window are surprising me, Chelsea. It's not clear.
Yeah, that's true.
You've got Warner, Hurters, and you've got Chilwell and Thiago Silva, but Thiago, I don't think for the Premier League will do well, to be honest. Experienced, but very slow. He's only played in France. France in the Premier League is a different ball game.
I agree. So the list is Waz. I've got this list down here, so we'll bring it up as we go through the Sunday supplement through the months. Heads that are going to be running. Waz has gone for Pep. Faraz has gone for Sheffield United. Ada has gone for Wolves. Mo, I've got you down as Wolves United as well, Sheffield United.
Man United.
I've got you down for Wolves. I initially said on the last Sunday supplement, I thought Fulham was a tricky one. And again, they haven't delivered. I think they've been frightened off. But the great shouts, Sheffield United and definitely Wolves. 100%. Great. Okay, so quickly, very, very quickly, now that the transfer deadline's done and gone, top 4 predictions very, very quickly. Ada, top 4 winners. Start with number 4, 3, 2, 1.
In the right order?
Yeah, go. Let's go the other way. Number 4, number 3, 2, and 1.
Difficult.
Okay, I tell you what. Think about it. Think about it. Let's because I want to put you on the spot. You guys think about it. I'm going to come back to you in a little while. We're going to go to the next topic, which is the big picture, and also Arsene Wenger's philosophy on what the new system or the rules are going to be. I'm going to get Sajjad Ansari to kick this one off. Saj, what do you make of the big picture? What was going on through the week? How's it all been bubbling? How's it been? How's it come forward now? This is not something that's been stirred upon within 24 hours. This has been going for a long time. Full years, and he's come out with this last week. Obviously, we know it's been kind of inverted commas shelved, but it's here. It's going to happen. It's going to happen imminently. But what are your thoughts about this now? How do you see it?
So it was very opportune timing. I see it as that. It is obviously been thought about for a long time, and they picked a time where they thought was a good time to strike because they were offering things that were good for the EFL and the FA. So they thought they'd get the support from the EFL and the FA. In reality, this whole last 2 weeks, I haven't even really read much about it or taken in much notice of it, because there was no way this was ever going to get through. Because there was no way the teams out of the top 6 were going to vote for this, and you needed 14 votes, and there was no way anybody was going to allow that to happen.
Okay.
So that's what I was thinking. I just thought it wasn't a realistic proposition. And it wasn't something that was ever going to get through.
Okay, Faraz, we spoke a little bit on our WhatsApp chats about what's going on. Are you worried what's going to be happening?
Yeah, so I mean, I agree with Sajjad in the sense that this particular proposal doesn't look like it had any legs. There's too many hurdles and obstacles to it. There is some good stuff, though, and I think it's food for thought. And with any negotiation, when you approach a negotiation like this, you go in hard. So I think that's what they've done, is they've put something on the table that they know is quite unrealistic in the broader sense, but in terms of the bits and pieces, a lot of it does make sense and will speak to the championship teams and teams like that. They are, at the end of the day, looking to make more space for European football and that sort of thing. The one thing that's quite sneaky is the introduction of the long-term stakeholders, which is basically how it works now is, like Sajjad mentioned, 14 teams are needed to pass any law in the Premier League, whereas this would introduce the long-term stakeholders, which are the big 6 plus Everton, Southampton and West Ham, I believe. And of that, any new rules that needed to be passed would need 2/3 of the long-term stakeholders. So you'd only need 6 votes to be passed. And that would be broadcasting and all of those sorts of TV money rules. And so I believe that was the kind of thing they tried to sneak in with it that I feel would be open to negotiation. I feel like it's going to be a long-running debate and something that will come up again and again. And we'll find a happy medium.
Waz, what are your thoughts on the Big 6?
Bad idea. There's a precedent in this. I think I've said this before in the WhatsApp group. If you follow cricket, this is exactly what India, England, Australia did. And they said, well, we'll take the greater money share, the greater voting rights within the BCCI. And as a long-suffering Pakistan fan, you can see the really, really bad effects of this on the rest of the game. And sadly, now they're all starting to realize, and they're trying to redraw that balance, and it's not really proving to be possible. India's argument is we bring most of the money. Well, this is exactly what the Big 6 are saying. Against that, we've got to remember there is some, I think as Faraz alluded to, there is some good in this. And in that, they are looking to share the TV money with the rest of the EFL. There's been a number of EFL chairmen who've come on in support of this. This was never going to get passed, but I think United and Liverpool perhaps knew this was never going to get passed, but they've gone in hard. I promise you this is not the end of it, and they will get their way. At some point, they will get their way. They want something. They've got something. They've got their eye on the ball. They know what they want. They've gone in with this, and watch this space, because I think within a year, sadly, English football will change, and we may not have much of a choice on that. But if they retain that element of helping the rest of the league, well, that's something. So let's see.
Yeah. Okay, Mo, I know you're very vocal. You have been in the last week or so. What are your thoughts?
I didn't like the way they did it. I thought it was a sneaky thing behind people's backs. My own team, Liverpool, I wasn't happy with it. Actually, even Man United following. I mean, it's not nice the way it was done. Some of the principles are good, like the money to the EFL, which I'm very strong about because of the crowd now. They're short. The workers can be paid. The people, the basics, very, very important. But some of the ideas are also good, but I didn't like the way they did it. Like the EFL Cup. I think the EFL Cup is a waste of time.
Okay.
You didn't say that.
It will help. It will help the national team as well. It'll help England because you'll have less games in the season and you'll be better off in tournaments as well.
That's a good point. I do like that because you see, like France and Germany and Spain, they don't have these extra cups going
on one domestic European League, and we even won two-legged matches in the semi-final.
There you go. Okay, where's Simon Jordan? Jordan, alias Ada. Come on then, give it some welly.
Look, I think most of the points have been made. I can't back it. I can't. I'm afraid I really can't back it. I think it's an opportunistic move. The ownership structure of the two clubs that brought it to the table has got something to do with it clearly as well. But look, I mean, what it does do is accelerate, hopefully, the discussion about helping the lower league clubs. I think that's now getting extremely urgent, with what's going on. And I think there is a sense of responsibility on the bigger clubs and the Premiership clubs to support the ecosystem of the football structures. So I think, hopefully this particular episode will bring to the forefront the discussion of how, income can be more fairly distributed, down the league. I mean, the other thing that's sort of not really been discussed recently, which is slightly off topic, but it certainly came to the people's attention during the first lockdown is players' wages, because with everything's going on, that's got to come back to the agenda as well in terms of a cap on players' wages. And if you look at the football economy, a big part of the economy is in the pockets of players, and they need to contribute to the overall equation as well.
Great point.
Well, I definitely agree with that. Now, moving swiftly on, because this is going to bring on to our next topic, which is stadium bans and the stadium bans with the fans. So I want to go back to Mo, because Mo, you have been rocking the WhatsApp groups everywhere I go.
I've been annoying people. Sorry, guys.
So let's go and have your little rant. You're ready now. You can express it to the
right.
hundreds of viewers.
I was doing some research today, and the Albert Hall has got about 4-5 events booked for next week, and they've got a capacity of about 12,000, and 4,000 indoors. So you tell me how nobody can go outdoors. Wembley, 80,000 capacity, 4,000 can't go and watch England? Come on, Grand Chaps. Come on, wake up.
I'll tell you what.
Okay, Waz, you're waving your finger, you're nodding your head.
No. Guys. Listen, I'm a season ticket holder. I love going to matches. I go to home and away matches, okay? Albert Hall, different type of crowd, different kind of behavior. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. No. But the point is to introduce fans going back to stadiums right now when infections are currently 30,000 per day would be madness. Absolute madness. We have to understand that we have a responsibility as well. It is perfectly.
There's a big gap of 1 to 10 to 15 seats.
But that's the problem. People are not going to keep to that. That you can try and say we'll create a biosecure environment. It's not in football. Football runs on passion. The last time I went to the Royal Albert Hall, I wasn't very passionate about it. I could sit in one seat and quite happily fall asleep. But the point is, if you're going to a football match, I'm not going to do that. Yeah,
and that's the reality. Did you know in Ajax on Wednesday?
But Mo, Germany has a very effective test and trace system. Germany is in a different planet to us. They are so organized. They're so on the ball.
Is so much better.
Much better. Germany. Look at Germany's figures. Look at Germany. The way Angela Merkel is handling the pandemic. You'll say yes, they have infections, but the way they're dealing with it, the track and trace, is much better than ours. Unfortunately, if our government gets a grip of the situation. Yes, we can possibly. I have no faith in the current government as well in what they're doing. I could go on about the NHS and the failings and all that, but that's where we are. That's what my honest opinion is right now.
Okay, Faz, what do you think? What's your What's your
to be honest, mine is more an opinion of how the no fans and the stadium ban has affected the football that we're watching, to be honest. So it's more away from this. With regards to, I don't think right now is the time to introduce sort of fans into the stadium. It would have been great if we were heading in a downward trajectory, but we're not. So unfortunately, it wouldn't be sort of prudent to do that. It does seem like maybe one rule for some, one rule for others, potentially. But I think right now isn't the time. It's more that it's changed the way we watch our football and the way football is played. Out of the games that we've had in the first 4 weeks, there were 76 potential clean sheets. We've only had 17. 76 potential clean sheets. So it's the lowest ever since the 30s, and the other one is that it's been the highest goals per game as well in a long while. So those are the things that I feel like it's changed the way football is played.
Okay, Saj?
So I think it's 100% the right decision not to allow fans back in. For us, it was correct. As Faraz just said, it's the wrong trajectory. So it's not the right time. I think the difference between this and other indoor venues and why it's different is when supporters, it's not about inside the stadium. It's not about socially distancing inside the stadium. It's what's going to happen when supporters leave the stadium. Last night's match, Man United v Newcastle, there would have been hundreds of fans getting together after the match and being together in groups. There would be people traveling. When people travel to the Royal Albert Hall, they travel as a couple or a family in one car, etc. When
public transport and then underground,
50 to 100 people, they gather together, all that kind of stuff. And the last thing is the big difference is football clubs can still, or Premier League clubs can definitely still survive without fans at the moment, and they can still pay hefty transfer fees and still operate in the transfer market where they spend a lot of money. Whereas venues like Royal Albert Hall and those kind of things, they can't, because there's no television money or any of that kind of stuff coming in. So there is a thesis there of why you do need to keep those indoor venues and some of the entertainment, the hospitality and entertainment industry alive in the UK, whereas football clubs can go on. So I 100% get it, and I actually agree with not having fans in at the moment.
Okay. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we've taken two variations. We've got the guys who are going to be at Royal Albert Hall sitting in front of a showcase, and they're going to be clapping and they're going to be cheering a little bit, hoo-ha, whatever. But in a football stadium, this is going to go beat Tom, because there's the drink factor, right? Once you've got alcohol in your system,
it doesn't
matter what you can say to an individual. He's going to run from one end of that stadium to another one to see his mate, and he's going to jump in up and down, and you're going to get groups of that. I want fans back. And it makes sense in the sense that, you've got a 50,000 seats a stadium. You can fit 1,000 fans in. You can put them like 300 there, 200 there. But I don't think that's the right way to do it right now. If we do it, we do it properly and at the right time. And also, there's a problem of, how are you going to get, like, if you get 1,000, 2,000 circulating in a stadium, get them out at the same time. You've got to make sure things are restricted. So I listen, I'm like you guys, I want fans to go back, but I think right now, we need to look at the bigger picture. Anyway, right. So next one, on the next topic, quickly going to touch on this. Right, guys, got your top 4 predictions, yes?
Yes, ready.
Yeah, get it ready? All right, okay. So next topic is Arsene Wenger's new philosophy. So we don't want to touch too long on this because it's, it might not happen. But Adel, what do you reckon? Arsene Wenger, our friend, he's come up with some quirky ideas.
You see, when you've been with the scum for 22 years, this is what happens.
Yeah.
You go senile and you come up with complete gibberish at a time where you've got such bigger problems in the football world. To come up with these kind of things, God knows what's happening to him. But I can only pray for him. To be honest, it's not an agenda. Well, not for now, but frankly for forever. And I just don't see the point of it, to be honest.
Waz, what do you think?
Don't you think his book was a bit like his football? Very pretty, lots of things to look at, but really no end product and no particular actual, trophy or anything at the end of it. So I don't pay much notice to it.
I must admit, I must admit I didn't spend or invest the time to read his book.
The second half is a bit dull.
So far as you just came in, I was going to ask you anything in that in Arsene Wenger's?
Not in the kick-ins and rolling balls and all the rest of it, but actually I saw a quote of his about the Nations League, and the fact that it's a bit confused and could be tightened up a little bit. So that's not a bad idea potentially. But the rest of them, I don't know if they have too much legs. I'll agree with Ada, but not as passionately because I don't have such passionate feelings towards.
Mo, how about you? Are you gonna back Arsene? Come on.
Nothing really got me there. Nothing really got me there. The offside rule was okay. The offside rule he made sense about, but other than that, nothing.
Nothing at all. Okay, listen, we're not going to go any further because it's Arsene Wenger, isn't it? At the end of the day, everyone. What do you think?
Specialist in failure, like Mourinho says.
There we go. Right, top four. I'm going to go to Sajjad Asaria. Your top 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very quickly.
Chelsea 4.
Yeah.
Spurs 3.
Spurs 3. Yeah.
Liverpool 2.
Yeah.
City 1.
Whoa. Okay. What?
And that's based on I had Liverpool 1.
Yeah.
I had Liverpool 1 until yesterday's injury to Virgil van Dijk, and I am assuming he's out for the season.
Yesterday's injury to Van Dijk. Okay, rolling on to Mr. Wasim. Where are we going? Number 4.
Number 4, Chelsea.
Okay.
Number 3, Liverpool.
Interesting. Yeah.
Number 2, United.
Oh my God. Does this mean what I think it means? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, well, look, I backed Pep to be sacked, but I'm also backing him to win the league. So.
Oh, okay. There's me thinking.
I think what he means by that time he won't win the Champions League, and that will be his failure.
Okay.
That will be his failure. No, but I generally think that. Actually, that would.
I agree, 100%.
Okay, Mo, how about you? Number 4.
Is the top 4?
Number 4, Man United.
Yep.
Number 3, Spurs.
Yeah.
Number 2, it was Liverpool to be first, but now it's 2 and 1 City. Same reason as Sajjad, to be honest.
Liverpool and City. Okay, we're going to hold it there. We're going to move on. So we've got Faraz left at Ada. We're going to come back to you guys in a little second. Right, England played their international week. It was a break week. We played a friendly against... who was in there? Remind me. England's friendly. No. Was it Belgium? No, that was the competition.
Wales.
Right, so we played
Wales. We played 3 games, didn't we? Yeah.
Yes. Remind me of the score. That was a drumming, right? 5 something?
3-0.
3-0? Is that all? Okay, 3-0. Then we played Belgium and then we played Denmark. So Southgate and the controversial team selection, because he had to change something because of some of the players being a little bit naughty. How did you see England's performance very quickly over the last 3 games? Encouraged or discouraged, or did he have his hand behind his back, Southgate? Did he play the right players? How do you see it, Ada?
Well, firstly, I have to question the point of having these international matches with everything that's going on in the world, and there's enough pressure on the system. Is it really a good idea for players to be travelling and increasing the risk of transmitting infection, etc.? So, I question that. Did I watch the matches? No, I didn't. It was a football break for me as well. I'll follow the updates. I mean, the team selection obviously is giving a lot of youngsters a chance and resting some of the senior players. The performance against Denmark left a lot to be desired. Maguire obviously took the headlines without sending off. He's obviously made some repairs last night with scoring a goal for United. But just not particularly exciting, to be honest, the whole international scene at the moment for me.
Okay, so Chad, you know, you and I have got this debate about Jack Wilshere. Sorry, not Jack, it was Jack Grealish. Sorry. And Southgate played him in the Wales game, and he really was a star. And then he didn't appear in any of the two other games. Did you find that strange? I mean, in the sense that, I mean, you know, Jack Grealish, has he grown on you a little bit now?
Yeah, I mean, he has grown on me. I mean, he played well last season in a poor Villa side, and he started very well in a sort of like a rejuvenated Villa side this season, and he deserves his chance. I think Southgate has his favourites. His favourite is Mason Mount at the moment. He won't play Mason Mount and Grealish, and he'll pick one over the other. So I think I was surprised with that. I think Grealish did definitely deserve a chance. And in form at the moment, Grealish is a better player than Mason Mount. There's no doubt about that. So Grealish should be playing in that team if instead of Mason Mount. I'm just surprised at the whole system that we're playing. This system does not suit England. We should be playing fast, dynamic football on the counter-attack. We've got the players. I know players were injured, but we still had enough players to play the 4-3-3 that was successful a couple of years ago in the Nations League, where we went to Spain. We played where we had a good central three base, and then we had Kane and two outside of him. I think we were used to play a rotation between Rashford, Sancho, Sterling. Now you've got Greenwood in the mix-up. You've got very quick players, and I think that's the way that England should be playing.
Why do you think he changed it? It worked so well, and he has the pick of the bunch. So I mean, there wasn't a reason to switch.
And the other thing I strained just to add to that before is Trent Alexander-Arnold is the best attacking right back in the world, and what are we doing? Like, why are we not playing? We've got the best attacking right back in the world.
I was just gonna say, for us, that's the. Sorry, Saj. I was just going to say, for us, with what you just guys said, Sancho, Sterling, Rashford, Greenwood, Trent, the quickest bunch of players we have in Europe by far. The only other club, nation I can think of is the French. So why are we going to this system where you need, two holding players, and then you've got three at the back? For us, there must be something.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is he's overthinking it, because everything that Saj said is spot on. He's overthinking it. I think the fact that we're now favourites for the Euros is weighing heavy on his mind, potentially. Intense media scrutiny, potentially. I mean, the England job is a poison chalice. Just generally, we know that. And potentially it is weighing heavy on him. It's not about putting all your best players on, but it's about figuring out a system that works. And he had it, and now he's sort of trying to be a bit too clever. Maybe.
Too clever. Wes?
Rumor has it he's been having a conversation with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on tactics. Because it didn't make any sense, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, I'll be honest, I thought England were really boring. I don't think anyone particularly thought they were riveting or exciting. And it seems like every time we seem to get thinking, okay, look, we've cracked this or whatever, and then we go back to this really turgid style, basically. Yes, okay, Harry getting sent off didn't really help matters, but we were really poor, and this formation was just stung. Really.
It's not there.
He can try and defend it, but there was no lines, there was no triangles, there was no pass. It was just rubbish. It really was. I mean, I'll call it for what it was. It was awful. So,
Mo, what do you think?
I like Vasily. I took a break as well about following the updates. But we spoke on Tuesday about the selection, and same as Sajjad was saying, Sancho, Trent, Greenwood doesn't help. Doesn't help at all. And also, I agree with Sajjad about the way we play, but also the formation. I think the formation should no need for five at the back. Go 4-3-3 or 4-4-2. You've got Harry Kane, one of the best strikers around. Calvert-Lewin coming up as good, very, very good as well. Play the two together up front. Try it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They can make a very good combo, because Kane is also a very good passer and thinker. So they can link up very well up top.
Good points, gentlemen. Good points on the England front. Yeah, no, I agree. I found it very strange. It really did.
Tactics are weird, very weird.
Yeah, very, very, very strange. Southgate, he I'm going to say he is the right man for England. He is. He has worked with the youth. We know that. He's brought them through very, very well. I just couldn't understand why he was playing that system. It was just beyond me. Okay, I'm going to go back to Faraz. Top 4.
Ooh,
please, Faraz. Number 4.
I'm going to go rogue, and you're going to hold me to this regardless. But I'll go Spurs 4th, Everton, City, Liverpool.
Okay, let's put a spanner in the works. Everton you're the first one that's actually picked Everton.
I thought they deserved a shout.
Yeah, I think so.
That surprised me, to be honest, Faraz. That really surprised me.
Yeah. So
but today they didn't play well. They didn't deserve it today. They were lucky to get a draw today.
Okay, I think Ada, you're the last one to pick.
I have to say,
before you go ahead, Ada, 1 second. Before you go ahead, I think we need to hear a sing song from Mo. Yeah, I think it's about time.
Definitely.
Mo.
This is what I tuned in for, to be honest.
Everybody's going to be waiting. Mo said, I want to get Face. Can I please have a sing song? Mo.
Okay, let's sing the one you heard when you went to Madrid. Ale, ale, ale.
Where's the mute button? Where's the mute button?
We've conquered all of Europe.
Cut him off, please.
We're never going to stop. From Paris down to Turkey, we've gone and won the lot.
Right, that's enough.
Right, the fields of Anfield Road.
Poor guy. His wife has been listening to that all day today in practice for this.
She hasn't heard it. I've been at work all day.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Even the Everton game, I recorded it. I came home, I didn't know the score. So I recorded the game last night, came home, watched it, and didn't know the score. Mobile off.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to move on.
This year,
I have to say,
this year is actually quite hard to call. I think it's going to be an extremely open season for various reasons that we've discussed. I've also got Everton on my list. I've got them as 4th.
Yeah.
This is going to be controversial, but I've got Liverpool as 3rd because I think their luck is going to run out. They had a lot of last-minute winners and all sorts of decisions going their way.
Everton number 4, Liverpool number 3.
Liverpool 3.
Oh my goodness!
I shouldn't say this.
Yes, get in there.
I will anyway. Spurs 2nd.
Well done.
And that leaves City.
Right. Okay.
To win the league.
So I'm just going to recap everyone. Wazza, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, City to win. Sajad, you've gone for Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool, and City to win. Mo, United, Spurs, Liverpool, and City to win. For us, Spurs, Everton, City, and Liverpool to win.
You know what? I've gone. They're not gonna defend the title. I've gone City to win, Liverpool 2nd.
Oh, you stopped it now.
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to defend the title. That's convinced me.
All right, and Ada's gone Everton.
I think we're all going to be wrong, but anyway.
Yeah, Everton, Liverpool, Spurs, and City. Right, so everyone has gone for City to win the Premiership. 5 out of 5, besides from me.
Your predictions, Faisal?
I predict Spurs to win it.
Ooh,
we changed already.
Close. Do you know what? I don't think Liverpool have bought anyone that makes me believe they're going to win it. Neither have City. But
the gap was so big,
United,
though.
I can't see right now because they've had a poor start, and I can't see it gelling. Everton have got a good start, but they're the clubs I think will then start going petering down.
Guys, just to put it in context, if we win a game in hand, United are 4th.
Which is true. And then, Raj, you know what? You've got the kids coming through, the new guys. It takes time to gel. You know what it's like. You just can't throw players in and go, here we go. Let's make it work.
Just ask Frank Lampard.
Yeah, there you go.
Surprising, isn't it, for us there, Chelsea? Very surprising.
Not
anyway,
surprising.
I think Spurs are in the mix, gentlemen. That's all I can say. Spurs are in the
Lovely.
mix. And going from Spurs to Pochettino, Mauricio. He's been away for a long time. And where's he going to go next? Because there's going to be spaces coming through. United, what do you reckon? Ada? Pochettino, we know him so well.
Poch. Well,
he needs to come back to football because I miss that guy.
I miss him too. I still I still see him as our manager, but clearly that time has moved on now. Where I see him, I have to say I'm surprised he hasn't come back into the game yet. The obvious one is obviously United, with Solskjaer unlikely to finish the season unless something dramatically changes there. So that would be the obvious one. That said, the other Manchester club could be an option, but I agree with others' comments before that City will probably keep Pep for the rest of the season. So that could be a longish wait for Poch for that job, but I think the Menu job is the obvious one.
Okay, for us, where do you reckon, Mauricio?
I was just waiting for him. I don't know. United job would be great. We'd love to have him, I reckon. No disrespect to current manager, but I feel like he plays a cohesive system, and it generally works. I was just heartbroken that he didn't get more airtime on the Spurs documentary, but no strong feelings either way.
Very good point. Yeah, no, very good point. I mean, Saj, we've seen the documentary. We were there at midnight every single night when they released the documentary, when we were there anticipating that we're going to see a lot of Poch, but you know what? Amazon just clipped him out. They didn't want to know him, literally.
Levi.
Yeah. But anyway, do you see? Where do you see Poch in the next
controversial
9 months?
There's a controversial point here. Controversial view. I love Poch. He gave me some of the greatest years of my Spurs of my Spurs career. But he never won anything. And one of the reasons why a lot of Spurs fans were, I wouldn't say okay with him going, but knew it was time for him to go, is he couldn't bring that winning mentality to Spurs. And he doesn't have that winning mentality. And I'm not sure he's 100% matched with Man United. I'm not sure he won't go there and won't be a bust. I don't think he's the solution for Man United. I think Man United, and I know they've gone down the tried and trusted route, but I just think Pochettino may be a risk for Man United in terms of he'll play a good philosophy. He'll get them back in the top four. But if Man United, let's be honest, Man United belong at the upper echelons of world football, and they need to be winning leagues or challenging for leagues, being in the top two every single year. And I'm not sure, and that's what I'm saying, I'm not 100% sure Poch is the man to do that.
Okay. Now, good points. Those good points. Mo, what do you think? Where do you think Poch might be heading to in the next 9 months? Because there definitely is, just before Christmas, after Christmas, there's going to be positions coming up very, very soon.
I think if it didn't work out for him currently at Barcelona, the manager doesn't do well there, the potential is Barcelona because of the way they play, and Poch has the same things in his mind. So it could be Barcelona.
Okay.
If Koeman is not a success.
Yeah. Well, Koeman, we know it's a short-term fix, right? Because you're going to have Xavi that's going to be coming in to take his spot. I deliberately left Mr. Fazal at the end because there's a reason, isn't there?
Well, look, I think I echo what Sajjad said. I'm not so sure Poch is the right answer for United, yeah? But unfortunately, or whichever way you look at it, I think that's where he is going to end up. And the reason I say that is if you look at Ole's next 6 matches, it's PSG, Chelsea, Leipzig, Arsenal, Istanbul, and Everton, basically. Jeez. Now, that's make or break time. If he does well, that's fine. That's him sorted for the season, to be honest with you. But if, as expected, there's a few hiccups there, the board are going to act. And if they act, they'll probably go for Poch. And it's interesting, Sad says, get them back into the top 4. To be honest, Ole got us into the top 4 in the first place. Albeit last season was a very poor league, if I'm being honest with you. So United should never have got into that top 4 with the way we played. But we did. There's no point getting Poch just to keep us in the top 4 or anything like that. We want someone who can then take us that next level and challenge for the league, etc. It would represent a risk. And I think whether the board will then fully back them, there's all these other issues that going on behind the scenes. Ed Woodward is totally incompetent. So I don't know. I'm not so sure whether that's going to be the right manager. No doubt he's got a great philosophy, great idea on bringing through the youth. There's no doubt he's got some fantastic ideas at whatever. Will he be a match at United? Let's see.
Okay.
Can I say who I thought would have been an absolutely fantastic manager for United and they missed out? Carlo Ancelotti. I think he would have done really well for United.
I was shouting for him. I was shouting for him as well a lot.
For United. He would have taken you to there.
I think not only do you need a manager who can inspire confidence in the players and the fans, but I think with this United board, you need someone who can inspire confidence in the board, as well as sort of present that fear factor to them that, you know what, I need to be backed because it hasn't worked so far. You can lay blame at every level, but at the end of the day, attitude in a club flows downwards from the top. So that's part of the issue.
Okay, good stuff, guys. Right, we're going to wrap it up in the next few minutes. I'm just going to go very, very quickly on yesterday's results. We haven't got our Everton fan, Hassan Pir, right? But we have got Mo. Mo, very quickly, Everton 2, Liverpool 2. How did you see it? Fair result, or did you think Everton should have won?
I think they played better previously in the season. I think Liverpool one of the best games of the season today.
Yeah,
but we were unlucky with a couple of decisions and poor finishing from Mo Salah. Another day he scores a couple more goals.
He scored a cracker of a goal, right? That was
I agree, but he had a couple of really soft shots which he scored. And the Everton keeper Pickford had to make some cracking saves today.
I think Pickford was playing rugby for some rugby league.
Yeah, that was. I still can't understand the rule on why that's not a penalty. And red card.
For us, Chelsea, Southampton. Danny Ings on the scoreboard again. Ward was there. Werner, he's flying now, isn't he? 2 goals.
You know what? Southampton live by the sword, die by the sword. Honestly, he's unless he gets banged 9 again, he's not going to change the way he plays. Plays quite a high line. There's always space in behind to run into. This was the game where Timo Werner did the business, had to do the business, and he did. Chelsea as a unit, Kai Havertz had a really good international break as well for Germany, world-class assists. Really exciting game, end-to-end. It was on pay-per-view, so I caught the highlights. But
you got it right. Okay, Ada. Moving on to Manchester City and Arsenal. Tight affair. I don't know if you watched it or not. It was a 1-0 to Man City. How did you see that game? And also, how do you see Arsenal and Arteta very quickly through the season?
Yeah, I think, it's the third game I think he's playing against Pep. They haven't won. I mean, Arsenal weren't, particularly convincing, sort of pretty football, but nothing in terms of penetration. City played well and, sort of back on winning ways. And I think that will be a good confidence booster for Pep. And I think we all back them to win the league. So I think, they're probably getting back, getting into the season.
Okay, just a quick one.
Unspectacular game compared to the other two.
Yeah. Do you fear Arsenal? Because out of everyone's top 4, Arsenal wasn't in there. So, do you think Arteta is a work in progress for Arsenal?
It's interesting you say that. I've got my top 4 written down here, and I've got Arsenal crossed out and Everton replacing Arsenal as 4th. So I just didn't, as a Tottenham supporter, I didn't want to give them too much credibility and attention. But the fact that I'd written them down as my first 4th choice, so to speak, would suggest that I think they're going to be a lot more formidable this season than they've perhaps been in the last few seasons.
Okay, good stuff. Waz, it was 1-0 to Newcastle. What was going through your mind?
No, we were playing well. To be honest with you, I wasn't worried. I could see we were playing the right way. I was happy for Harry. I know he's taken a lot of stick. It took a lot for him to stand up and say, "Yeah, I'll play." He had a minor knock from midweek from England. To be honest, that takes a lot of character. We can say what we want about his defending, but as a character, I thought that took a lot of guts to come up and stand up. He played reasonably okay, scored a goal. Rashford played well. Bruno missed a penalty, just for all of you, yeah. And but we played well. And to be honest with you, the scoreline didn't flatter us. And we have pace, as I think. I know Sajjad was talking about your front three at Tottenham. I think the front three at Man United are brilliant. I love that front three. It's got full of pace, youth, exuberance, etc. And you've got the guile of Fernandes behind. For God knows why Van der Beek is not starting. That guy is a genius. Watch his pass on Match of the Day. He was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Yesterday's game just showed that United can do that to teams. So the question is consistency. And it's a perfect response to what happened against Spurs.
Good stuff. It's nice to see a nice smile back on your face. Just quickly recapping on today's games. In the next hour or so, just over an hour, we've got Sheffield United, Fulham. And then we've got the Palace against the Brighton M23 derby. Sajjad, quick one. Tottenham against West Ham. How do you see this one panning out?
Tottenham I think West Ham, Moyes will come with low block, 10 men behind the ball, make it very hard for us. I don't think it'll be an easy game. I think they'll make it really hard for us. I'm predicting a 2-0 win. I want it to be a hard match, to be honest. I don't want it to be a blowout. I want us to show some fight, character, and I want us to show some game management, I want us to show something different today.
Right. Ada, very quickly. Bale to play tomorrow, yes or no?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he will play. Whether he starts or not, I doubt he'll start. He'll probably come on, come on in the second half. But I'm excited to see him.
Okay.
And I agree with Saj. I think it'll be a tough game, but we'll hopefully get the 3 points.
Okay. Leicester against Aston Villa. Mo, what do you reckon? Outcome of that one?
I think Villa have won all 3 games so far, and Leicester are mix and match this season, up and down. I'm predicting a 2-2 draw tomorrow.
2-2 draw. Okay. And the reason Faraz left you to the end is because obviously West Brom is your end of the market. Not far from you. Right. West Brom against Burnley. I mean, why put that on a Monday night? Why put that game on a Monday evening? Oh, no, it's a Monday afternoon. It's 7:30.
Why don't you give me Leeds? Why don't you give me Leeds versus Wolves? I'll be
okay. What are you saying? We're going to bypass West Bromwich against Burnley. We're going to move it to Leeds. I see Leeds. That's a breath of fresh air, eh?
That could be the West Brom game. Could be our first 0-0 of the season. Has 0-0 written all over it. Wolves, I'm looking forward to. I'm backing them hard on my fantasy, so hopefully they come good. Jimenez to come good. But it's going to be an exciting game. Dallas is playing. Dallas is a player to watch from Leeds, and I'm excited with the way they play generally.
Okay, all right, guys, we're nearly out of time. Unfortunately, we have got 1 or 2 topics, but it's just going to roll on. We'll now take those topics and throw them in a fortnight's time. So, just a recap of all the hot topics. I'm really happy that we've discussed most of the topics on our agenda for all our wonderful viewers. But it is now time to say goodbye, and hopefully we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. I would just like to say thank you to our wonderful, wonderful panel. And I'm going to go from top to bottom. Waz, thank you so much for coming on again. Faraz Fazal, keep that fantasy winning streak going on. And best of luck with the 1%ers on the fantasy football. If anyone wants to join that link, please give us a shout and I'll send you the link to Faraz's YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Sajjad. Yeah, no worries. Sajjad, our Spurs master technician critic, thank you again for coming onto the show. Simon Jordan, Ada, thanks again for coming on. This is your first time, so I hope you've enjoyed it. And last but not least, Mr. Mo Walji. I was going to ask you a sing song, but we need to move on.
Yeah. Don't worry.
And thank you once again to Kaki and the production team to get this show going for everyone to enjoy. Until next time, good night, or should I say good morning, God bless. See you next time. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.